The new Fable from Playground Games could be in trouble, and PlayStation just announced their new State of Play event teasing a few details, and there's evidence that Nintendo could be gearing up to sell 10 million plus units of the Switch 2 this year. I know, more Switch rumors. All this and more coming up on Gaming Signal. Thanks so much for tuning in to Gaming Signal. Let's get started with your gaming news. Let's kick it off with Nintendo gearing up for a big Switch 2 launch later this year. Supposedly. Last week, Bloomberg reporter Takashi Mochizuki reported that Nintendo aims to ship the Switch 2 with an 8-inch LCD screen rather than the popular and better-looking OLED screen that shipped with the most recent model earlier in 2021. Just before the weekend, Takashi also reported that Nintendo is working with manufacturers to supply 10 million plus units for its initial launch window. The original Switch launched in 2017 to wide commercial and critical success, boasting initial sales of just over 13 million units according to Statista, with its best-selling year being 2020 with a whopping 28 million units. It's interesting to see that only 10 million units are the estimate for this launch. Now, this could be due to Nintendo accounting for maybe a more competitive market with Steam Deck and company and all their new direct competitors coming out of the woodwork this year. However, most people buy a Switch for Nintendo games, not just the handheld factor. So why do you think Nintendo is supposedly pulling their punches with their launch sales estimates for the Switch 2? Could this be evidence of Nintendo playing it safe? Or maybe this isn't a Switch 2 at all. Maybe this new Nintendo platform is actually a new form factor, something closer to the unreleased Xbox cloud-based console. Would you buy a cloud-only Nintendo console or just wait for the proper Switch release? And PlayStation has finally announced that it'll have its next State of Play event on January 31st, starting at 2 p.m. Pacific Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and they have this posted on their official blog post. The broadcast will be over 40 minutes long and feature guest appearances from some of the most talented minds in gaming. Among many other updates, we'll feature extended looks at Stellar Blade and Rise of the Ronin, two great games coming to the PS5 this year. And we'll give you a new look at other titles coming to PS5 and PSVR 2 in 2024 and beyond. The thing about the guest appearances make me excited, and it gets me thinking that PlayStation may be taking a page out of Xbox's book. With the most recent Xbox Direct being mostly received as fine, PlayStation doesn't have to give an unusually strong answer. However, I think that what most gamers enjoy about the Xbox Direct is how it gives a personal approach in highlighting the development teams along with the games. PlayStation has historically taken a more measured and kind of corporate approach to these events, making them very high production quality and kind of fine-tuned and very chiseled. But they sometimes do that at the sake of like having a soul or having a personality. It's kind of a just the facts version of like video game explosions and bright lights and cool video game moves. I think for PlayStation, this is a great opportunity for them to show maybe not necessarily a change of direction, but a change of tone, specifically in their connection with their community. Now that Jim Ryan has moved on and there's an opening in PlayStation leadership, I think they need to hop on this opportunity to bring in someone with the charisma of someone like Phil Spencer or Reggie Fils-Aimé from Nintendo of past. Someone who can kind of connect with the gamer, as someone who kind of has that cool factor. It doesn't have to be that they're not, an executive type at all, because obviously Reggie and Phil fill that role for their respective companies. But putting someone forward who can really make a genuine connection with their players, I think is a great opportunity, especially since they are all of a sudden having much more competition from Xbox because of the recent Activision Blizzard and King acquisition. So for better or worse, this will be the tone setter for PlayStation's 2024. What do you hope to see in the event? Next, and this story just came out yesterday, Joanna Faries is named president of Blizzard Entertainment by Phil Spencer and Xbox. Bloomberg reported on this, saying that she was previously general manager of the Call of Duty franchise. Now, this announcement is made right on the heels of the announcement that Microsoft was cutting over 1,900 jobs from Activision Blizzard teams. So there's obviously a little bit of drama going on here, a little bit of tension already, But it looks like Joanna has a good pedigree. It seems like she has a lot of great people in her corner cheering her on, saying she's great to work with. She's a great all-around person. However, it seems like Fairies is coming into this very sober-minded, very aware of the recent transitions that could be causing tension and friction within the company. Also, given that her background is in the Call of Duty on the Activision side, naming her president of Blizzard with different games and different structures and just an all-around different tone and personality, she's very aware of this, and she even made a statement to the Blizzard team that reads, "It is important to note that Call of Duty's way of waking up in the morning to deliver for players can often differ from the stunning games in Blizzard's realm, each with different gameplay experiences, communities that surround them, and requisite models of success." Fairies wrote, "I've discussed this with the Blizzard leadership team, and I'm walking into this role with sensitivity to those dynamics and deep respect for Blizzard as we begin to explore taking our universes to even higher heights." It's always a sad and kind of dark moment in the industry whenever so many people lose their jobs, but with this new restructure, hopefully we'll get to see more stabilization come to the gaming industry and specifically these teams over at Activision and Blizzard. Next is the new Fable in trouble. Fable is arguably one of the most anticipated upcoming games from Xbox first-party studios. Given that we've only seen just a few glimpses of the new Fable game in action, lots of fans are eager to hear and see more from the developer. It's still unclear if this is going to be a continuation of the greater Fable lore set in games 1 through 3, or if this is going to be a complete reboot of the series. If what we saw last year in Xbox's Summer Showcase is anything to go by, I would guess this Fable game is starting a new legend with a new history and lore, but heavily inspired by the spirit of the original trilogy. Either way, most gamers have been content to wait and be patient, giving Playground Games enough time to get it right. However, the general expectation after seeing the short clips of gameplay last year was that this would be a late 2024 release at the earliest, or possibly a spring 2025 release. With this in mind, there is some concerning news coming out of Playground Games. They just hired a new design director for the Fable team, as announced on Twitter, and they also have several openings still available for their Fable team. If you just kind of scroll through their career page and their job listings, you will see several key roles that still need to be filled for the Fable team. With this in mind, I am definitely ignorant of a lot of game development workflow and what parts come at what time in the development process, but I would highly doubt with these key roles still vacant that we'll get to see anything really new or improved or a closer look at Fable until we won't get a new look at it until late 2024, if at all, and we can definitely not expect the game to release late this year. I would say at this point, we won't even see an early spring 2025 release, most likely a holiday 2025 or a spring 2026 if it gets delayed. So what do you think? Do you know more about game development than I do? What are your thoughts on the Fable franchise? Did you think that it was a good showing last year at Xbox's showcase? I know that gameplay was promised, but what we saw seemed more like kind of cinematic cutscenes within engine, and that's not really gameplay if you ask me. So what did you think? I want to know. I'm a big Fable fan. I'm going to be there rooting the team on, but this is a little concerning given that I think we were all kind of expecting something to happen a little sooner. For game releases coming up this week, we have this Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League coming out February 2nd. It is already in early access, and I may be doing a video about that, giving people's general response to it. That is out on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. February 2nd, Persona 3 Reloaded is also out, coming out on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series, PC, as well as Game Pass. So there you go. If you haven't ever played Persona 3 and you want to get into it, carve out some time, but it is available on Game Pass for Game Pass PC and console. Thanks again for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next video.